Alright, let's dive into something that's been making headlines recently. A cyberattack on over 30 water systems in Minnesota, potentially linked to Iran. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me just say this. Cyberattacks on critical infrastructure are no joke. They are not just about data breaches or financial losses. They are about disrupting essential services that people rely on every single day. Water systems. That's next level concerning. So, when I heard about this, my first thought was, why target water systems? What's the endgame here? Is it sabotage? A show of power? Or something more insidious? Let's break it down. First off, the New York Times reported that state and federal investigators are pointing fingers at Iran. Now, personally, I think this is where things get really interesting. The US and Iran have been locked in a tense standoff for years, with cyber warfare becoming an increasingly common battleground. But here's the thing, this isn't just about two nations trading digital blows. If Iran is indeed behind this, it's a bold move, targeting something as fundamental as water systems. What many people don't realize is that cyberattacks on critical infrastructure can have far-reaching consequences, even if they don't immediately cause physical harm. It's a psychological play, a way to say, we can disrupt your daily life whenever we want. Now, Minnesota IT Services, MNIT, has been careful not to officially attribute the attack to Iran, and I get it, they don't want to jump to conclusions. But let's be real, the timing is suspicious. With the US and Iran already trading strikes and struggling to reach a deal, this could be another chapter in their ongoing conflict. What this really suggests is that cyber warfare is becoming a go-to strategy for nations to exert influence without direct military confrontation. It's cheaper, harder to trace, and just as effective, if not more so. One detail I find fascinating is that no ransom was detected. Typically, cyberattacks on infrastructure involve ransomware, where hackers demand payment to restore services. But this? It feels different. If you take a step back and think about it, the absence of a ransom demand implies that the goal wasn't financial gain. This raises a deeper question. Was the intent to simply cause chaos, or is there a larger geopolitical strategy at play? In my opinion, this could be a warning shot, a way for Iran to signal its capabilities and push back against US pressure. Now, let's talk about the impact, or lack thereof. Thankfully, no water supplies were compromised, and the affected communities were able to switch to backup plans. But here's where it gets tricky. Even though there was no immediate harm, the psychological damage is done. People are going to start wondering, could this happen again? Are our systems really secure? And that's exactly what the attackers want. They've planted a seed of doubt, and that's just as dangerous as any physical disruption. From my perspective, this is a wake-up call for governments and organizations worldwide to beef up their cybersecurity measures, especially around critical infrastructure. What makes this really interesting is how it fits into the broader trend of state-sponsored cyberattacks. We've seen Russia target Ukraine's power grid, North Korea go after financial institutions, and now potentially Iran hitting US water systems. It's becoming clear that cyber warfare is the new frontier of international conflict. But here's the thing, unlike traditional warfare, the rules aren't well defined. How do you respond to a cyberattack? Do you retaliate in kind? Impose sanctions? Or is there a risk of escalation that no one wants to take? Personally, I think this incident highlights a massive vulnerability in our modern world. We've built these interconnected systems that make our lives easier, but they've also created new ways for adversaries to strike. And let's be honest, it's not just about water systems, it could be power grids, hospitals, transportation networks. The possibilities are endless, and that's terrifying. If we don't start taking this seriously, we could be looking at a future where cyberattacks become the norm, not the exception. So, where does this leave us? The investigation is still ongoing, and we may never get a definitive answer on who's behind this. But one thing is clear, this isn't just a local issue, it's a global one. Cyberattacks like this have the potential to reshape international relations, escalate conflicts, and erode public trust in critical systems. As we move forward, I think we need to ask ourselves, are we prepared for this new era of warfare? And if not, what are we going to do about it? What do you guys think? Is this the future of conflict, or just a one-off incident? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, in a world where everything's connected, no one's truly safe. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.